So get a cup of tea, get a snack, and just relax and let's get on with it. So growing up, I never really got influenced by my parents like that. They did send me to madrasa and they got me tutoring and things like that for Arabic lessons, but they never, like, my mum never wore the hijab. My dad didn't have a long beard or anything like that. Like, their physical appearance wasn't there. I did in my head that I wanted to wear hijab one day, inshallah. That's how I was in my mind. But the school and the friends that I had at that time, nobody... Firstly, I didn't have any Muslim friends and I didn't go to a Muslim school, nowhere close to it, mixed school, and I didn't have the best of like friends, to be honest. Most of them were really bad influencing people. And yeah, friends, and they're not bad because I never saw bad in anybody. I never saw their actions to be bad or anything. But if I think about it now, I'm like thinking I should have done something about it. But most of my friends got excluded from school. By the time I was in year 10, I had none of my friends. So I had to make new set of friends and they were better, like they were better pupils and stuff. So I concentrated on my GCSEs. But again, Islam wasn't anywhere close in my mind. Then secondary, when I came into college, and in college I had 3 hijabi friends. First time ever having Muslim friends who looked Muslim, that I can identify that no, they're Muslims now. And then when I was 19, roughly about 19, when I'm on my second college doing a different subject, I used to work in McDonald's. So that's another thing. I used to work in McDonald's from the age of 16, part-time. So I used to work in McDonald's from the age of 16, part-time, and then full-time when the holidays came. And I used to eat, Big Macs and quarter pounders and chicken sandwiches and stuff like that. And then there was a manager there, a new manager that came when I was 19. And he would also say, what you're eating is haram. It's haram. It's not halal. And I used to say, no, it's fine. It's not pork. And he said, no, there's no, it's halal or it's not halal. It's that simple. And that kind of made me think, he kind of like explained it to me a little bit and stuff. And that made me kind of think, okay, that makes sense. And then I can't exactly remember what he said, but I know that kind of like stuck to me. And then I kind of decided around that time, a few months later, he spoke to me that I'm just going to eat halal meat, like just halal meat. And it wasn't even... Okay, so now at this point, I've started to transition. For me, that was like the first step myself, just eating halal meat. So that was the first thing. And then the next couple of years, I didn't still follow Islam. I had a boyfriend. I had friends that would still influence me in terms of like taking me clubbing, drinking, things like that. Just basically it wasn't the right place for me. And no one stopped me, They just let me do my thing. At this point, my mum's a single mum. And so I didn't have any influence by any male members in my family. So basically that's that. They let me just get on with what I wanted to get on with. But when I was doing those things, like when I was going clubbing, when I was in a haram relationship, I felt so uncomfortable. I felt that I was wearing a mask and I was struggling within myself to try to fit into the society so much, like to be accepted in the society. And I would just I'll just follow like a sheep, like just follow them. And it just made me like really unhappy, to be honest, because I was just so like, who am I doing this for? Like, who am I doing it for? Just people that are going to come and go in my life and never going to be stable. So I just kept on pondering about things like this majority of the time, but I never told anybody. So during this time, I also started to collect hijabs and abayas and stuff and kept them hidden away, kind of thing. And then a couple of years after, I changed into halal meat too. And then that Monday when I went to work, I was like, I'm going to wear the hijab and abaya. So I wore that to work, and all the parents and all the staff just stared and didn't say anything. I would say only like 2 parents asked me, what's the change about? And I just told them that I just wanted to embrace my religion, and they were fine with it. My mum thought it was probably a phase, astaghfirullah, but she thought it was a phase. So I did lose quite a few friends because of my transition to Islam, which is fine. I mean, if they weren't meant to be in your life, then you let them go for the sake of Allah. Like you just have to let them go, because at the end of the day, they're not that important. Your religion is, your faith is. So I did it for that reason. I didn't fight it. I just let it happen, because I didn't really want to. I just felt I couldn't please them anymore, because I couldn't go clubbing, I couldn't go drinking, I couldn't, mix with men and stuff like that. So I just thought maybe for the best, it is good that I don't have any non-Muslim friends who cannot accept me for who I am. And for them, that was a transition they just couldn't accept, because they knew me the way they knew me before. And then changing to a more stricter lifestyle, they just couldn't get their head around it. So it was fine. It was fine. I was cool with that. It was fine. So now the next 2 years after wearing the hijab, I was happy. Alhamdulillah, I was so happy with everything. And I was practicing more. I had an Arabic teacher. She was teaching me about Islam. I was doing a little bit of research myself, watching lectures and things. I was embracing more and more things. My Islamic teacher said about the eyebrow thing is forbidden, because your prayers will not be accepted. And immediately I stopped. It was quite hard, actually. I'm not going to lie to you, because within myself, it was difficult, because I may not do makeup at all to work, but if I did my eyebrows, I'll be happy, because I feel like I look decent, I look human. So not doing the eyebrow was a bit of a task, but again, you have to think, what is the purpose? If your prayers cannot be accepted, is there any point of you doing what you're doing? Like for me, it was like, no, I want to be a practicing Muslim, a good Muslim, a Muslim that my children can be proud of, my husband can be proud of, my family can be proud of. I want to be good in every way. If I can strive to be a good Muslim, because my ultimate goal is to go to Jannah, and I'm sure everyone else as well. So I had to obey the rules. So I did. I obeyed the rules, and then okay, so after that, what was it? So I wore the hijab for about 18 months, 2 years. No, so it was about nearly 2 years that I had about 18 months I had the hijab on and stuff. And then I wanted to settle down. So I was looking for a practicing Muslim, but not too religious, because I was still learning. So I needed somebody who can help me, or I can help them, or we help each other. I didn't want someone so advanced that I felt stupid. So I was looking, my mum didn't really know anybody. And so I went on these, these online Muslim marriage sites and stuff. And funny how things happen, because I found my husband on there, who I actually knew from secondary school, who wasn't a Muslim at that time. So that's another story altogether. But yes, I got married, and then we were happy. I was still hijabi. We were like bouncing off each other when it came to religion and stuff. But he did exceed like quicker, because he absorbs things so quicker than me. And because he's a revert, his love for Islam, I feel that is greater than mine. Like, his love for Islam is far greater than mine in every way, because I think I took Islam for granted, whereas he never had Islam. He never had it. So when he got it, he keeps it treasured, and he loves it. He loves it so much. Mashallah. Yeah. So then I got pregnant with Khadija, and he kind of said to me that he would like me to wear niqab, and I was like, ooh, step back a little bit. I'm not too sure about this. I've never seen myself wearing the niqab and stuff. I don't know how comfortable I'll feel, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, no, it's, he explained to me everything, and he showed me evidence, and he showed me, the rewards that you would get, and tried to entice me, basically. He tried to entice me. Buy me a couple of niqabs and I'll give it a go. And I wore it out with him. At first, I'm not going to lie to you, the niqab that he got me was horrible. That completely put me off. Then he got me a different kind of niqab, which I didn't even know how to even put on. And then there was another, this is the niqabs that I wear now. They're pretty long. Ugh. They're pretty long, and I got them from Zamzam's in Wood Green, if you're wondering, £4. And they were just like perfect. The material was really nice and soft and flowy, and they were very long. It covered the chest area. So it was just brilliant. I loved it. And I put it on, and with him I was fine, but then I started to notice that I started to get a lot of abuse, and that kind of put me off a little bit. So I did have a few times when I would put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, because of the constant abuse that you get. Not physical abuse, but you get the verbal abuse. And Khadija was growing up as well, and I would still get it, like Bomb Squad and ISIS Bride, and just nonsense things. And then but my husband said, every time that you get abused and you stay strong, you get rewarded. Every time, any hardship that you go through, because this is nothing compared to all our prophets, what they went through, and their wives, what they went through. So this is just a temporary place for you. So my husband would like really encourage me, and I think that really helped me embrace the niqab more when I had a supporting husband. Again, my family were fine with it as well. They thought it was a phase, and I think they found it really uncomfortable maybe at first. But alhamdulillah, they have no problem with me wearing the niqab whatsoever. They're very supportive. My husband is very supportive as well. At work, they're very supportive. So I've got now good support system in my life where niqab is not an issue. There are places that I don't go on my own without my husband or my family or my friends, only because I just feel really uncomfortable in those areas. But apart from that, the niqab itself, it was a transition, but I think what made it easier was I had a very good support system around me, and the acceptance from my loved ones really did help me to embrace Islam and take the next step in being modest. And please like, subscribe and share the video. So growing up, I decided, yes, Khadija, Mama doing a video. Mama doing a video. Don't a video.
What video?
Oh, don't put your face there. Don't put your face.
What video?
No. Now. Okay, because Mama doing a video.
Okay.
That's why I don't do videos, guys. Because Khadija takes all my time. Khadija, Mama doing video. Okay, can I start now? Or do you want to take your toys in the other room?
You start.
Okay.